One small detail can make all the difference. I was representing a client who had been accused of vandalizing a luxury sports car parked outside a nightclub. According to the prosecution, my client was caught on a security camera throwing rocks at the car, damaging the windshield and mirrors. My client, a soft-spoken artist with no history of violence, insisted he was nowhere near the club that night. But the prosecution's case was strong. They had a grainy, black and white video showing a man in a hoodie tossing rocks at the car. During cross-examination, I asked the detective who analyzed the footage, "How sure are you that the person in the video is my client?" The detective responded confidently, "We analyzed the footage multiple times. The height and build match, and the clothing resembles what your client often wears." I nodded, pretending to accept his statement, and then asked, "Did you observe anything unique about the man in the video? Any distinct movements or features?" The detective, now looking slightly less sure, replied, "Well, no obvious features, but it's clear from his posture that it could be your client." I continued, "So, you're saying you identified my client based solely on his general height and build, in a low-resolution video with no clear facial features?" The detective hesitated, finally admitting, "Yes, that's correct." At that moment, I asked to play the footage for the court. I'd reviewed it countless times myself, and had noticed a small but crucial detail. As the video played, I directed everyone's attention to the suspect's hands, pausing the clip right as the man in the hoodie threw the rock. "Notice anything unusual?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. The courtroom remained silent as people stared at the screen, confused. Then I pointed to the man's hand, zooming in on his right wrist, which bore a dark tattoo that clearly wrapped around it. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said, "my client has no tattoos." To drive the point home, my client raised his arms, showing his bare, ink-free wrists to the judge and jury. The room went quiet. The prosecutor's jaw dropped, and the detective fumbled through his notes, looking visibly embarrassed. The judge turned to the prosecutor and asked if he had any further evidence, and he stammered before admitting he did not. The case was dismissed on the spot. As we left the courtroom, my client looked at me with gratitude, and I couldn't help but smile. Sometimes, the smallest details can make all the difference.